Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today's topic, today's going to be a little different, a little unexpected.
Oh, how so?
So get this.
Yeah.
We're going to be diving into a comparison of ancient Roman gladiators and the modern-day Israeli army.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right? Sounds a little crazy, but that's what makes it so intriguing.
It's definitely an interesting pairing.
Right. And the only source we have for this is a document simply titled Gladiator versus Israel Army.
That's it, just the title.
Yep, just the title, no actual content or anything, so we're going to have to use our imaginations a bit.
Well, challenge accepted. It does make you wonder, though, what kind of comparisons you could even draw between, ancient gladiators and a modern military force like the Israeli army.
Exactly. I mean, what could they possibly have in common? But, that's kind of the fun part of these deep dives. It's all about exploring the unexpected and seeing what we can uncover.
I'm all for it.
Okay, so to get started, let's set the stage a bit. When most people think about gladiators, they picture
like Russell Crowe in Gladiator.
Exactly. Sword-wielding warriors battling to the death in the Colosseum.
The roar of the crowd.
The roar of the crowd, the spectacle, all that.
Right.
And while that is a part of it, there's actually a lot more to it than that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there were different types of gladiators.
Exactly. There are all these different types, each with their own unique weapons and fighting styles.
Like the Rotirius with his net and trident.
Yeah. And the Murmillo with his heavy armor and sword.
It wasn't just random brawling, it was very strategic.
Absolutely. They trained in these specialized schools, kind of like ancient boot camps, where they honed their skills and learned to fight as a team.
Like an ancient version of, say, the Israeli army's special forces units.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, I mean, if we're comparing gladiators to the Israeli army, maybe we can find some parallels in their training methods.
I like it. Keep going.
Okay, so the Israeli army, as we know, is a modern fighting force with advanced technology and weaponry.
Right. They have a mandatory service policy for both men and women.
Exactly. So their training is incredibly rigorous and designed to prepare them for a wide range of combat scenarios.
Now, thinking about their training, the gladiators, their training was pretty intense too, right? I mean, they were fighting for their lives.
Right, but their motivation was different, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. For gladiators, it was about survival, fame, and sometimes even fortune.
They could win their freedom, too.
Yeah. While for Israeli soldiers, it's more about patriotism, duty, a sense of national identity.
Protecting their homeland.
Protecting their families.
Right.
Defending their way of life.
So the underlying reasons for fighting, they were completely different.
And I bet those differences had a huge impact on their mindset, on their approach to combat.
Absolutely. A gladiator facing a single opponent in the arena is a world away from a modern soldier engaging in complex warfare.
That brings up another interesting point. The technology and tactics. I mean, obviously there's a massive gap there. Right?
Oh yeah, huge difference. Swords and shields versus drones and guided missiles.
Right, but even with those differences, I wonder if there are any parallels in how they use their available tools to gain an advantage.
It's funny you should say that. I was just thinking about the Rotirius, the gladiator with the net and trident.
Oh, yeah.
And how their fighting style was all about control and disarm, right?
Yeah. Entangling their opponent, keeping them at a distance.
Exactly. And in a way, you could almost compare that to how the Israeli army utilizes drones.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Not in terms of the actual technology, of course.
Yeah.
But in terms of the strategy behind it.
Using technology to gain an advantage? To control the battlefield from a distance.
Right. It's about using what you have, whatever that may be, to outmaneuver your opponent.
And it really highlights how, even though the tools of warfare have evolved so dramatically over time, the underlying principles of strategy, of tactical thinking, they might actually have some things in common.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. But, at the end of the day, it's a bit frustrating that all we have to go on is this document title.
It is, yeah.
Gladiator versus Israel Army.
We have no idea what the actual comparison was based on what kind of research they did, what their methodology was.
Right. We're just left with all these questions and possibilities.
But you know what? I think that's part of what makes this so intriguing.
I agree. It forces us to think critically, to use our imaginations to fill in the gaps.
And for you, our listeners, we encourage you to do the same.
Yeah. If this comparison sparked your curiosity, don't stop here. Go out there and do your own research.
dive deeper into the training methods of both gladiators and the Israeli army.
Compare their motivations, their tactics.
Examine the social and cultural contexts that shape their fighting styles.
And maybe even think about other seemingly bizarre comparisons that might hold hidden insights.
You never know what you might discover.
That's right. The next time you encounter an unusual pairing, don't dismiss it out of hand. It might just lead you down a fascinating rabbit hole of discovery.
Happy exploring!
And we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.
Bye, everyone. Bye.